Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we have a Vedant Jain, also known as the JS Cafe. He has his own YouTube channel where he created content regarding front-end development and front-end system design. So hi Vedant, could you please give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, hi Vishal. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on your channel. You are doing a great work via your channel. I have seen a couple of videos, they are really awesome. About myself, I am a software engineer too, working at India's biggest OTT platform. And as you have already mentioned, I run JS Cafe. We both, are on similar lines. But yeah, today we are here to, bring out some really great, interesting topics so that audience can benefit today.
Yeah. So you and I also create a content on front-end development, data structure and algorithm in JavaScript, and lots of other stuff. But I see some of the awesome content on your channel that you are also creating about the front-end system design. So do let us know about what is front-end system design is to the newbies.
Sure. See, system design is a completely different, a whole complete universe in itself. So let me start off by, let's say, if you are working on a project and you are asked to build, let's say, a simple form, but that is a small part of your project. How about the whole setting up the whole project, and what are the various services this project is going to use? What is the tech stack, and what would be the rendering method? What would be the design pattern, and what are the various optimizations that you have done in the overall project? That exactly comes into that part of system design. And as you have already seen, system design is complex as it involves looking into multiple areas of a simple even if we take a simple project. So regarding that part, I think someone who has experience in all the domains of the front end would be the perfect candidate to come up with a proper system design. So actually, there are two parts regarding the system design. One is the low level design and one is the high level design. High level design is something that is related to connecting systems, so that what is the back end system, what is the front end system, how they are going to communicate, and what are the various microservices that your project is going to use. On a low level design, we primarily deal with the code, deal with the software. So if I say that, okay, this is my project, then what are the various types of techniques, optimization, design patterns, and rendering patterns that I am going to use in a project to make it suitable for a product, to make it fit for the market. So that is the system design. So if you see, coding is just a part of a software development. The bigger picture is system design only.
Vedant, I want to know about like there are lots of newbies and fresher in my audience. So should they start learning system design, or should they first of all start like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, give their enough times to React.js, understand what is front-end development, and after understanding front-end developments to a certain level, they should start system design. My question is, what is the ideal times to learn system design?
Yeah. I think it is a pretty nice question, Vishal. Like we always get excited about seeing your those basic jargons and those high level terms for the system design, but we should always stick to the ground. For someone who is starting with front end development or any other coding, the primary part is to get the basics done. So if you are someone who is just who has just started with front end development, I would suggest them to go with HTML first, then cover CSS, then get their hands on with JavaScript. Once they are comfortable in all these three, then they can start picking up certain frameworks like React, and they get into the depth of the React. How is React working? What are the hooks? Try to build some basic projects so that your foundational coding is strong. Once you are comfortable in coding, then you can take a step more ahead, take jump one level more, and learn about how you can optimize your code. Okay, that is I think the pretty basic step in learning front end system design. Try to understand how you can optimize the code. Take a very simple example. You have written a to do app. Now try to think, okay, if I can optimize this via event delegation, are there any hooks, are there any hooks that are present that can help me achieve Memoization is like, you save certain like output for a function, and you try, if you provide the same input, you get the same desired result without performing any calculations. So those are the baby steps to go start with system design. Now once you are familiar, okay, I can make a high class component. Now you have to also understand about user accessibility. Let's say if a blind user is, viewing your application, so how would they perceive your application? There are concepts about arias, if you have heard about screen readers. So if they, if they have screen reader mode enabled, or like the screen reader automatically parses your elements of the code, and if it encounters, okay, I have to speak this text, so they will speak whatever is present inside that text. If they have to, if they encounter a button, then they'll say, okay, this is a button. So that is also part of system design. This is not a complete, rocket science in itself. It is a part of system design. And talking about this, then you also talk about, scalability. Let's say if some user, if I have a product that is catering to 100 users right now, how can I scale this application so that 1 million users can use it simultaneously? You have to handle how you can handle the edge cases. So those are very, little steps, but they are very crucial.
Yeah, like currently Asia Cup and the World Cup is coming, then there will be loads of like crores of users on the OTT platform. So to handling such kind of traffic, such kind of user, you need a solid system design. Vedant, as you mentioned that first of all students should learn the front end development in depth, and then they should think about the optimization of code, how to optimize, how to improve the performance. But I see lots of companies often include front-end system design interviews in their fresher interviews round. So how can someone prepare for the front-end system design as a fresher SD1 role?
Yeah, sure. Definitely a good question, Vishal. So, as a fresher, like, this is a recent trend. So, when I was a fresher interviewing, there was no concept of system design. We were hardly asked questions around like output questions, or, dealing with the concepts of React and JavaScript. But now, like, things are changing. People are learning more and more about the stuff. So, coming back to your question, so the basic stuff that you can expect if you are a fresher in a system design is the LLD part only. You don't have to worry about HLD, because that is, dealt by very senior levels, not even SD2s. If you're starting with 4+ years of experience, that is the point where you have to worry about HLDs. But if you are someone with less than 4 years of experience, LLD should be your point of concern right now. Coming back to how you can, prepare, as said, let's suppose you are a front end developer with the React domain. So I'll suggest that you first of all have a solid foundations of building complex projects. Some really solid projects which I can think of right now are like a video conferencing app, the on which we are like having this podcast. You can think of creating chat messengers, where you can, concepts of hooks and, real time monitoring of data and everything. Then a really interesting project is sketchboards. So if you have heard about, Excel draws, or Miro boards, whatever stuff, so these are kind of, online sketchboards where you can draw stuffs and visualize and save that board for future purpose. So these, if you develop these kind of projects, automatically your, skills are going to be developed. Building projects like a Netflix clone, or, some other WhatsApp clone or Facebook clone are were okay at a decade ago. For example, 10 saal pehle it was okay, but right now things are really advanced. So if you build a Netflix clone, nobody is going to, have a wow factor. Okay, he has built something new, because this is pretty much very basic these days. I've seen that there are few paid courses where they are building YouTube clone, but this is of no sense because it is useless. So all you have is a search bar where you perform the CRUD operations and other stuff. So this is not good. You have to, this is okay for free content like building Netflix clone and YouTube. But if you are a premium, if you are doing some premium stuff, then obviously you have to, take the users to next level. Coming back again, I diverted from the question. Let me come back. So once you have developed these projects, obviously you'll suffer from performance issues, okay? Because these applications, if you write horrible code, these applications are not going to work. So sketchboard may, if you are having a loop that is running for like 5 seconds, obviously your application is going to lag. Or if you are not handling memories in the sketchboard application, the application is going to be hell janky, okay? It is going to be so janky that you can't even draw. So those are the points. That is why I heavily emphasize on building good projects, because that is where you'll encounter a problem and then you find a solution. Okay, this is how you build your skills. And if I talk about points, certain points, if you're not going with that project approach, if you just want to read the concepts, you can read about certain React design patterns. There are very good design patterns. For example, HOC component, higher order component pattern is there. There is render props pattern, and there is like compound pattern. So if you have seen the libraries like material UI, and if you see their components, they have something like component dot toolbar dot header. So that dot thing, you see that, try to see how is that coming. So that is a part of, yeah, that is a part of compound design pattern they have used. And that is how you can build your own tabs, perhaps that tabs you think on the website, that you can build it via compound pattern. And let's suppose in by touchwood, you see interview question, okay, what is a compound pattern? You not only explain the pattern, but you also give an example where this has been built. So that is a given advantage. And once you are done with this coding styles, you have to focus on optimizations. I think React has done a fabulous job on their website, talking about use layout effect, use memo, and how to avoid memory leaks. So these are all already covered on React, so you can read about them. Once you have covered these two, then comes a little tricky part, that is about rendering applications. So I'll give you small brief like what this is about, what the rendering is all about. So let's suppose you have, for example, you have a e-commerce a real estate website. Let's take that. Okay. So you have listed down 10 properties on your website. They are having like property slash one slash two and so on. Now, if I say that when I land on your website, and you every time hit a API call for that particular real estate. So real estate one might be having certain set of images, certain set of details that is different from real estate two. Now, first of all, you are making a network request for calling that whole page, okay, and then you are hitting a API call to fetch the data. Once that is fetched, you are again rendering the UI. There are 4 stages already involved in this, okay, and this is going to be hell of a slow. What Next.js did right now is they come up with something known as server side rendering. They told that, okay, whatsoever amount of slug you have, let's say you have hundreds of real estates, you can pre-generate the HTML file along with the content for each page dynamically without having you to update them manually. This was the power that Next.js gave you. So you already compute most of the stuff on the server side only. You generate those pages and send them to browser. So now you avoided 2 steps. You avoided first network call, API request, and you avoided repainting after the data was done. Data was fetched already. So think about how you can optimize your application in the rendering process also. Optimizing is one thing, but rendering optimization is another skill itself. So you have to think, okay, if I have, do I really need client side rendering? Do I, because chat applications are client side renders. You can't have the messages server rendered. Okay, that is not going to make sense. But applications like this, real estate or e-commerce, you can have them already, okay, on your plates. So you have to think about your use cases and how is that going to work out. Yeah, so to answer you to that question, I think it went pretty long, but that is how you should prepare for system design as a fresher.
You mentioned about the front-end system design and you mentioned about how to learn front-end system design. So I want to know, is there any book, online course or any platform from where you learn the system design and where my student can learn the front-end system design?
Yeah, sure, Vishal. So, talking about my journey, how I discovered this whole, universe of system design, like as I told about, building some really great projects. When I discovered certain problems, I tend to find solutions. So, usually I refer to Medium articles, or dev articles that are present online, and they beautifully explain each and every topic. So coming upon certain resources, because till date I haven't found a really good material where they can post everything about system design, because I believe that each individual has a different experience with system design. मेरे लिए कुछ ऐसा होगा तो दूसरे के लिए कुछ सिमिलर यू टर्न लेके कुछ चीज़ें आ रही होंगी. So for that, what I did was, whenever I encountered any approach or encountered any new concept about system design, I gathered those information and I created a single playlist on my channel itself. I called it Frontend System Design Binge Watch Concept. So there are actually, if I am not wrong, around 16 questions, 16 concepts, 18, okay, 18, 16 to 18 videos that are present, and each calibrate to a individual topic of a system design. So I have ordered the playlist in a certain way where you can just start the first video and binge watch till last. That is how you cover the concepts. Okay, this is about the concepts, but it is very important to solve questions also. So to solve the questions, what you have to do is you have to solve quality questions. So if I talk about certain questions like image sliders, you have
Carousel, that is.
carousels. Yeah, if you have heard about Airbnb's carousels model, or if you heard about owl, there is a owl carousel as well. It is a package on online, so that they are also having a great insight on how they are sliding those images, how they are optimizing the stuffs. And talking about e-commerce, obviously e-commerce involves a hell lot of things regarding system design. Another good questions could be a chat application. So if we are talking over Slack, Messenger, then how is the database? Have you heard about, there can be a database on front end also? We have seen, okay, there is a database on back end, but front end maybe there's a database. We call it as IndexedDB. It is a SQL based database. Okay, and you can't imagine the power that it provides to the chat applications. Okay, and I have seen companies using, even Mintra, we heavily use we have heavily used IndexedDB for maintaining user client sessions and other stuff. So this is a really great technology. So these, to solve these questions, I again have created one course named as JS Yatra, where I have solved top class 4 questions in depth. And the overall the journey is something like, you start with this playlist on YouTube, you gather the concepts, and once you are ready to solve the questions, you can come up to JS Yatra and solve the questions in line. And we are not just solving the questions, but we are also explaining each and every topic line by line. So it's not like I am just solving the question and giving you the solutions, but I am also explaining the intuition behind solving is, okay, why do we need this, what is this, yeah, why do we need this, and how is this happening, and other stuffs. So that is really important. So having the concept, having the right questions to solve is the way out through your system design.
Thanks Vedant for sharing the resources and also discuss about your course. So I want to know, like, if you have few tips for the front end developer who wants to get into the startups or MNC, your few tips to them.
Yeah, sure. So I think real time projects, like if you are having projects that are live, are definitely going to stand you out from rest of the developers. So first, the foremost thing as individual you can do is have great projects, which we discussed, post them online so that viewers can see them, and have a quality resumes. So resumes are something which I have seen that people are lacking. You can use, these time now it is a era of AI, so you can use AI to generate quality resumes for you. And also you have to make sure that it can be parsed by the ASTs. So you can see that if you upload a resume online, it can extract the details from it. Okay, so you have to make sure that your resume is AST friendly and it can extract every detail, and that reaches properly to the recruiter. These are the three things. And also you have to track your applications. I have seen that मैंने 100 कंपनी में अप्लाई कर दिया, बट मुझे एक दो चार जगह से कॉल आया, एंड नाउ आई एम ऑन द कॉल आस्किंग मैंने किस रोल के लिए अप्लाई किया था, जरा बताना, एचआर से पूछते हैं. सो दैट इज अ रियली बैड इंप्रेशन. सो हाउ टू fix that is something you have to keep a track. Okay, maintain a excel sheet of whenever you are applying for any company. Maintain a excel sheet, लिख लो कि इसमें इस चीज के लिए अप्लाई किया था, एंड whenever you get a call just मोबाइल पे open and slide through it. Okay, this is the company and this is the role I applied, एंड ये चीज़ें हैं. एंड ऑब्वियसली यू हैव टू कीप ट्रैक कि ओके पहला इंटरव्यू कब शेड्यूल हुआ था, अगला वाला कब शेड्यूल हुआ था, एंड हाउ थिंग्स आर वर्किंग. सो कीपिंग ट्रैक इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड अगेन टू स्टैंड आउट यू हैव टू हैव स्टैंडिंग आउट प्रोजेक्ट्स. एंड ऑल्सो तुम्हारे पे अगर इफ यू हैव डन ओपन सोर्स कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस, देन ये भी एक अच्छा, दिस इज अ गुड थिंग दैट फॉर योर इंटरव्यू. सो आई थिंक दैट इज ऑल इट सम अप्स to get into good companies.
Yeah, and if you want to make your project, so do check out my projects video session. And also, if you want to become create a good resume, I have already created two videos on resume, how to create the resume using ChatGPT. And second video I recently created, what are the mistakes that you are putting in the resume and while sending the resume. So do check out those video. And thanks Vedant for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Vishal, for this amazing session, and I hope everyone learned something and they get something out from this podcast. You can always connect me on the LinkedIn or on my email. I think Vishal can put up the details on the description. And yeah, that was all, and thanks for having me.
And I will also link JS Cafe YouTube channel, so you can do check out his YouTube channel. And this is it for this video. If you like this podcast, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.